There is one thing, of course, that we have to point out, and this may be the reason why we're seeing this correction right now, and that is on the weekly time frame here. We have this massive bearish divergence on the weekly time frame. This looks ugly. This looks very ugly, and it is definitely confirmed for sure.
Hey, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily. My name's Aaron with Austin. Today we are joined by this man almost needs no introduction. He's got a Bugatti. He's got a blue chip NFT. His name is Carl the Moon, very successful YouTube channel, the Kasta King, as they're calling him now. We'll get all into it, but today he's going to give us all the alpha on Bitcoin and Ethereum, in his opinion, reading the charts, reading the tea leaves, what he thinks is to come in the future. Carl, how are you doing today?
I am doing very, very well. Obviously, I prefer when the crypto prices are going up, but as long as you keep holding and don't sell the lows, usually, or actually for Bitcoin, there's always another pump around the corner. So that hopium there keeps me waking up with a smile every day. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Yeah. Is it fair to say that you are a long-term bull on both Bitcoin and Ethereum?
Yes, I hold a bunch of Bitcoin and a bunch of Ethereum that I'm holding for the very long term. There's one small difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum though for me. Bitcoin, I never sell. Ethereum, there have been a few purchases where I actually used my Ethereum to buy things, but the vast majority of my Ethereum I'm also keeping for the long term. But if I have to liquidate to buy something, I start by liquidating very low altcoins that I don't really care so much about, and then I go up the list to Ethereum, but it stops at Ethereum. I never ever sell Bitcoin, except from my first watch that I bought like 2-3 years ago. I paid 3 Bitcoin for that when Bitcoin was at $7,000. Obviously now Bitcoin is much higher, so that was an expensive watch for me.
Dude, let's see it.
But it's not here. Now I have this watch actually. This I paid with USDT here in Dubai. The other watches at home, but yeah, that was an expensive lesson for me, and from that point I decided I'm never again selling my Bitcoin to buy something.
Nice. Well, let's jump right into it, dude. I'm psyched to read some Bitcoin and Ethereum charts.
Definitely. Let's dive straight into the charts. I'm gonna start off with Bitcoin here, and there are some very, very interesting lines that we have to pay close attention to here. First of all, right off the bat, you can clearly see a descending broadening wedge here. And a descending broadening wedge is actually a pattern that definitely breaks to the upside, slightly more likely than to the downside. That said, you can see that we're still in the wedge, and in the cards, we still have the scenario where Bitcoin could go all the way down here and retest this support here, as you can see. So a scenario that I think is definitely a likely scenario is that we go down, retest $30,000 and try to confirm support there, because if you zoom out, you can clearly see that $30,000 is this huge macro support that has been holding for a very long time, ever since way back in January of last year. Retesting this level would be something that would be absolutely amazing to at least get a confirmation of this support. If we break it, then we start talking about maybe a bigger bear market in the multi-years of length. So basically people are talking about, when is this bear market happening? When is this crypto winter starting? And I think $30,000 is that big level to watch in terms of a multi-year crypto winter or not. And before I jump into Ethereum, I also want to show you, of course, that we do have this head and shoulders. And this is something that I was talking a lot about over on my channel, that we have a head and shoulders and we have a neckline. And if we break the neckline, then we have a target here, right? So if you pull this like that, and then you just take it down, this is how you measure the target out of head and shoulders, then technically The target should be all the way down here at $22,000 for Bitcoin. But to reach that target, Bitcoin obviously would have to break the 30K level. So my bearish target here is 30,000. I think we could come down, retest it, but then hopefully see it bounce. So that's my quick little Bitcoin update for you.
And how likely do you think the 29, 30K region holds? It sounds like you're fairly confident that would hold.
I'm fairly confident in that. I would say at least 65, 70% chance, 70%, yeah, I would say 70% approximately that we will hold $30,000. I still believe that this Bitcoin bull cycle is not over. I still don't think we're over. There is one thing, of course, that we have to point out, and this may be the reason why we're seeing this correction right now, and that is on the weekly time frame here. We have this massive bearish divergence on the weekly time frame. This looks ugly, definitely.
Oh no.
And yeah, this looks very ugly, and it is definitely confirmed for sure. Actually, when we were up here at 47K, I was telling people that we have a bearish divergence potentially, but it's not confirmed yet. However, if we break below 47, then that's, in my opinion, where this bearish divergence becomes a very solid bearish signal. And ever since that point, ever since I made those videos, the Bitcoin price has been falling, and I don't see any huge crypto pumps in the next like immediate few weeks. We need to see some kind of sell-off. I think like a last shakeout with big volume before we can see a big reversal here. But at the end of the day, no one knows exactly what's going to happen. Some people think that we're in the bear market now. Some people think that the bull cycle is still happening. But I see more and more people turning towards bearish rather than bullish now. And at some point, when everyone turns bearish, that is usually the time when we go bullish.
So is it fair to say if Bitcoin is looking bearish in the short term at the moment, we should just assume that Ethereum is looking bearish as well? Or should we not assume that?
I mean, I think that's a great assumption, and you're usually right if you have that assumption. But sometimes you can see Ethereum diverge from Bitcoin. This is Ethereum against the US dollar. And obviously, this chart will very often just mimic the Bitcoin chart because they are very correlated. Very quickly, I can just show you that we have big support here at $2,400. Big resistance up here at 2,700. Right now in between, and it has to be said here that we are in a downtrend. Ethereum has had these small bear flags get formed here. This could be yet another one of these bear flags. Looking more and more likely that that's the case if we keep getting rejected like this here. So maybe we are going to see yet another leg to the downside. This is definitely the likeliest scenario if Bitcoin keeps going down. But on that point, if Ethereum mimics Bitcoin,
or Ethereum versus Bitcoin throughout 2021, Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin. So
yes, exactly. So if you go, this is the Ethereum against Bitcoin chart. Let me actually reset this chart and just make this more beautiful. Here you can see that Ethereum is clearly in an uptrend against Bitcoin. And we do have declining volume, however, which is not, we want to see increasing volume when we see that happen. And also on the weekly time frame here, you can actually see a potential bearish divergence coming in. So right now, Ethereum is looking strong against Bitcoin, but on declining volume and a big bearish divergence, if we break down below, I would say this level here at 0.59, which is previous big support, and right now big support, then I think Ethereum is going to perform bad against Bitcoin.
So you're saying sell?
No, I'm saying wait for a confirmation of the bearish scenario. If Ethereum breaks down below this level, then yes, going from Ethereum back to Bitcoin could make sense for at least a temporary time where maybe Ethereum is just regrouping, waiting to break to the upside. But breaking this level here, I'm sure there will be some type of a sell-off here in the immediate short term from that.
So we're just at the start. Feel free to take us off screen share. We're just at the start of February. We have, many months of this year to go. So thinking big picture, how likely do you think it is that Bitcoin breaks 100K and or Ethereum breaks 10K in 2022?
Okay, so I would say this. Every week that goes by where we keep going down, it gets less and less likely that $100,000 will happen this year. But it doesn't take a genius to say something like that, right? But it is somehow also obvious. Like, we need to see the bulls come back in quite soon to be able to reach those levels. Even keeping lengthening cycles in mind, there is a limit. There is a period of time where we need to see the top, because otherwise the cycles don't really make sense anymore. So I think it's still fairly likely that $100,000 is going to happen this year. I still think it's likelier that it's going to happen rather than not. But Ethereum, it's all about Bitcoin. Like, if Ethereum is going to reach 10,000 or not, it completely 100% depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes to 100K, Ethereum goes to 10K. If Bitcoin goes in the bear market, then we're not going to see Ethereum even go above 5K anytime soon. So that's my 2 Satoshis on that subject.
Awesome. Carl, I love the perspective. I encourage our audience down below, give me your thoughts on the Bitcoin, on the Ethereum price action. But Carl, as we wrap up, what else is going on with you, man?
With me, many things are going on. I mean, obviously, you guys know about Kasta, so that's like a huge project that we are currently very excited about. That's like, for me, very important that we create this environment where it's easy to use crypto, because you guys know just like me that sending crypto payments today, it's not very easy. Obviously, now we are used to using our ledgers and pressing this and pressing that and using alphanumeric public keys and private keys. But the mainstream, they don't want that. They want simplicity. So that's why we started Kasta, and the company is growing incredibly fast in terms of popularity and stuff. So I'm super excited about that. And the app is going to be live within like 2-3 months now. I'm told by the CTO that either very late Q1 or very early Q2. And that's when the magic starts happening. And I'm super excited about that. And I mean, you guys, what do you think? Do you think that the mainstream will accept crypto as it is today? Or do you think we have to make it simpler?
Full disclosure for our audience, at one point we were thinking we'd be investors in Kasta. At the moment we're not. Perhaps we will be in the future. It's in limbo right now. Just keep everybody on board. But I'm certainly excited to see what you do, Carl, and the other Carl, the CEO.
Two Carls.
Yeah, two Carls. I think that one of the hardest things to do in cryptocurrency, I feel like, is sending. There's 2 big barriers of entry. 1, sending or receiving your first cryptocurrency transaction, and 2, setting up a wallet, specifically like a ledger or something like you mentioned, a hardware wallet. And after you pass that, you can pretty much get through most things in cryptocurrency, in my opinion. So if yours is being built on Polygon, I think I could see that doing well as far as users go.
100%. Yeah, because again, the mainstream out there, they want convenience. And right now, the US dollar or the euro or any fiat currency out there is much more convenient to use than crypto, because first of all, it's very rare that someone even accepts crypto in the first place. And then dealing with gas fees, that's a whole headache in and of itself. I mean, sending Ethereum can cost tens of dollars. And Bitcoin, even Bitcoin is like $2-3, sometimes even more, like $10. So you cannot use it for buying a cup of coffee. And that's why Kasta matters, because with Kasta, you can now spend crypto, buy a cup of coffee, share the restaurant bill very easily without any headaches. And that's what we're bringing to the table. So super excited for that. I'm very passionate about the vision and the idea behind Kasta. So it's very cool.
Yeah. And answer me this, dude. We bring you on because, you have the information. I've been seeing a lot of great things about Kasta as far as like the Kostians, as you call them. But I guess the only other thing is that some people are saying that the tokenomics of the project, there's been some criticism with that as far as like the vesting and the team. Can you give us the alpha on that?
Yeah, so first of all, personally, I was not involved in creating the tokenomics. So if you want to know the idea behind tokenomics, you should definitely talk with Carl, I think. However, I think something that people completely miss is that all tokens that are team tokens and advisory tokens are locked up for many, many years. Basically, for example, my tokens, I cannot sell even one token if I wanted to. Not even one single token can I sell. It's all locked up almost 5 years. And 5 years, it's the longest lockup that I've actually ever seen for any crypto project out there. So this is something people don't talk about because people love to focus on the negative stuff. But I think it's very important to point out that the team tokens and advisory tokens are locked up for many, many years. Investors tokens are also locked up for, I think, at least like 2 years or so. They can sell off some tokens after some time, but ever since launch, not even one, like we're talking 0 tokens could be sold, literally 0. So yeah, I just want to point that out. And this is also verifiable. I mean, it's all public, right? Anyone can go and verify that what I'm saying here is exactly how it is. The tokens are locked up. And I don't know. The thing is, I may be a little bit conspiratorial or whatever, but I think there is like some kind of, attack, so to speak, where we're seeing like articles sometimes pop up where it's just like a little bit strange that all of a sudden all of these weird arguments come out. And I don't know, is it the banks that are now angry with us? Is it crypto.com? I don't know. I'm not saying anything, but like it's a little bit strange, Also, some of the comments on our tweets are like, it's from, these accounts where it says like David 09910009, like, like, is this a real person or is it just bots? So I think a lot of this stuff is, yeah, but I don't want to be too conspiratorial there, but let's just say no one can dump tokens. I think that's very important to state because, yeah, it's important for me. I love the community of Castians. And actually, ever since the launch, I've been buying tokens. I haven't sold a single token. I've been buying tokens. Yeah.
They don't like the fact that you bought a Bugatti, Carl, and you've been so public with it. There's haters out there.
Yeah.
But actually, anyways, yeah, go ahead.
I bought the Bugatti way before Kasta App, just so everyone knows this.
Okay.
And even if I wanted to, I couldn't even sell tokens for it. So yeah.
They'll sell the Bugatti first. No, just kidding. But anyways, Carl, dude, thank you so much for coming on. Links to Carl's stuff down in the description. Check him out. And final thoughts, Carl, for the Altcoin Daily audience.
First of all, I love your audience and I actually love your channel. I think you guys are doing a great job. I think that, are you maybe the biggest channel right now or at least top 3 or so?
In engagement, I'd say we're number 1 in community.
Yeah, I think so too. You guys are doing an incredible job. And I think that your audience seems super, super cool because I see a lot of positivity whenever I have you on my channel, whenever I'm on your channel. It's like great community. So big shout out to the Altcoin Daily audience out there.
Thanks, Carl.
See you next time.
Nice.
Guys,
Cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was good. Nice. Okay, let's.
So what are some of the questions you're going to ask us?